Welcome to today's webinar on fundamentals of API vulnerability scanning. I am Fani. I head marketing at Indusface, and I will be your moderator today. Before we get started, a couple of housekeeping notes. So there is a Q&A box that some of you are already using. So should you have any questions during the webinar, type out those questions, and then we will get to them at the end of the webinar. The second thing is we have poll questions to keep the presentation interactive. So please participate in them so that, Vivek will discuss the results and weave in those results into our presentation today. So yeah, so a brief introduction about Indusface as a company. We are an application security company. By applications, we mean websites, APIs, and mobile applications. So we have 5,000 plus countries across 5,000 plus customers, I'm sorry, across 95 countries. And then coming to our application security platforms, we have a web application and API protection platform called Aptrana. And we also have a vulnerability scanner or a DAS scanner. And we bundle that with penetration testing, which is Indusface VAS. We also resell SSL certificates by Entrust. Now coming to compliance and certification, no matter in which industry you are, which geography you are in, which compliance your regulated industry requires of you, we have you covered. Should you have any questions on any of these, write to us. Now coming to recognitions, over the years we have received many recognitions. One recognition that we are extremely proud of is the Gartner Customer Choice Badge, where we have been rated on the top right for 3 years in a row. And we are the only WAP provider with 100% customer recommendation rating that we've got for 4 years in a row. Now, this is something that we've already discussed. Extremely proud that we have 5,000 plus customers across 95 countries. Now, this is just a representative chart of, customers who we serve across the world in various verticals. So this is just a representative sample. And in case you want any references, feel free to reach out to us and we will be more than happy to introduce. Now, this is one slide we had already discussed briefly on this. Now, our customers love us across platforms. So not only on Gartner, on G2 also, we have received a number of badges. So this proves that we are a capable platform that does well across both enterprise and SMB segments. Now, coming to Indusface research, every quarter we release a deep report based on an analysis of more than 1 trillion requests that our WAP Aptrana inspects. This has various trends on DDoS attacks, bot attacks, zero-day vulnerabilities, and so on. Should you be interested in going through the report, it is available on our website. And what you see on the slide are, the media coverage that we've got for this report so far. Finally, without further ado, let me introduce Vivek, who is the VP of Products at Indusface. He's been here with us for quite a while now, almost nearing 10 years. And then prior to Indusface, he has also worked in the security industry, but in the endpoint security space. Now, majority of his experience is in product development in the security industry. Now, today, Vivek will take you through the presentation and answer any questions that you might have. Over to you, Vivek. So I'm stopping to share my screen so that you can take over.
Thanks, Vani. Thanks for the introduction. Let me just share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Vani, can you confirm?
Yeah, Vivek.
Okay,
I
great.
can see your screen.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining, and thanks, Vani, for a wonderful introduction. So today, we are going to tie this webinar to our launch of API Advanced Plan and Indusface VAS. So Indusface VAS is an dash scanner which helps you identify vulnerabilities with APIs and web applications. So we already have API scanning through our premium offering, which is combining our automated scanner with pen testing. But now we are going to introduce Indusface VAS plan, which is just for the automated scanner. So that's something that I'll be covering at the end of the webinar. But before getting into that, I want to paint a picture about what is the current state of application security and what are the challenges that we see our customers facing, what are the challenges that we are hearing from the industry, why are these challenges prevalent, and then how at Indusface we are trying to solve that problem. That's briefly what we'll be covering in the next 30 to 45 minutes. With that, let me get started. So, what is the current state, right? So current state, what we see is that there is a huge proliferation of APIs. One of the recent studies has said that nearly 70% of the traffic over the internet is because of APIs. This is predominantly happening because of the nature of the new age applications. The new age applications are built ground up as cloud native applications. They are built on microservice architecture. So what happens is these applications have APIs that talk with other applications. They have APIs that talks between services, and also many applications exposes APIs which can be public-facing APIs, which can be consumed by partners and the likes, right? So more and more what we see is every application has some form of APIs within it, right? Or they are either exposing APIs or they're consuming APIs. Nearly 1/3 at this point we see has APIs in it, and it's fast growing. Nearly it's bound to grow by 50% in the next 2 years. And what are the additional thing that is happening is because of the development methodologies like Agile and tighter integration with CI/CD pipelines. There is a lot of deployments that is happening. There are very frequent deployments, so APIs keeps getting updated. There are new APIs that keeps getting added to these applications. The same study which I was talking about also says that 1/3 of the organizations have a daily update, right? So imagine the kind of proliferation all these things leads to. So what does that mean? It means that we are opening up for a lot of security concerns. What we see is there are APIs that's getting deployed without any security controls. The security team is not aware of what are the APIs that are there in the organization. One study says that an application has nearly 26 APIs on average, at least, right? So security team is not aware of these APIs, and these applications are going live without any right security controls. So they are misconfigured. All this is later leading to huge security risks and exposure of APIs, which has sensitive data. So all this means is that hackers are exploiting these APIs, right? APIs are consumed now to enable businesses. And hackers follow the money, right? So nowadays there is an economy that is growing based on what I call as a API economy. And because it's a new trend and there is a new attack vector that is now available, the hackers are moving towards that. And more what we see is that there are a large number of attacks that is targeting these APIs. Well, that is about more than 100% increase in API attacks in the last year. 92% of the organization has seen some form of security incidents because of these APIs. And more and more, what is also happening is that we are seeing exploits of business logics and APIs. And this is more possible because of the newer technologies that is available. Attackers are able to call APIs mimicking an actual user. So it becomes more and more tough for security controls that are there to identify these attacks and block it. And so now attackers are able to mimic a normal user, identify what is the business logic of an API, and then go ahead and exploit those. Some of these common things would be exploiting a refund API that is available, exploiting the checkout API that is available. So based on how these APIs are built, the business logics that are available, there are exploits that is being carried out. So what does this mean to you? There are various attacks that is being carried out on APIs. The common things are attacks, and all these attacks leads to various kinds of security incidents. The common incidents that comes to our mind is exposure of sensitive data, account takeover attacks, DDoS attacks, and the likes. And all these things happen because of either misconfiguration of APIs, lack of security controls in the APIs, or vulnerabilities that are there in the APIs. For example, exposure of data happens because of any vulnerabilities that are there, exploitation of those. Account takeover attack happens because probably there's no proper authorization layers, and that is getting exploited. So this is what we are seeing across the industry. And this also means that it is creating a serious impact for business. All these attacks all these exploits and incidents have serious repercussion on the business side. It has a brand value, brand issues. It causes compliance issues for organizations. Applications could go down, or there are some services that can go down. We are seeing attacks just on certain business logics, attacks on a login page, attacks on checkout page, which would eventually mean that you would not be able to check out your cart. So those kind of attacks has serious consequences on your business, brand value, compliance, and whatnot. So, and why is this happening? This is happening, according to us, is because of multifold factors, right? One is because of lack of adequate controls, adequate processes in an organization. The tools that they are using might not be sufficient enough. Customers are not, our security teams are not able to identify the business logics correctly, and there are many vulnerabilities that are vulnerabilities that are of the nature of business logic that goes live without proper testing. That is, again, tying back to my original statement, because of lack of process, there's no proper API documentation. The API specifications are not there. And last but not least, because of lack of skills and resources, right? So all these factors are leading to the challenges to the security incidents that I had talked about. And this is pretty much the state of API security across the industry. So before we go further, a quick poll question. We'll be very interested to know, do you have some form of API testing that you carry on in your organization? If so, how do you do it? So the poll will start now. We'll keep the poll open for another 2 minutes. 20 seconds. We'll be closing the poll shortly. Okay, Manju, please close the poll and publish the results. Okay. What we see is about 50% of people say that they rely on manual pen testing, which is very good. 14% says dash scanner, 19% says SaaS, and 33% says they don't scan their APIs. For 33% of the people, we have a solution that you should immediately use. I'll show the demo of that. For the rest, it's good that there is some kind of solution that you are using. But and if you're just relying on manual pen testing, you should look at using complementing it with automated scanners like Indusface because of the first stat that I said, right? Applications are being deployed every day, right? So there are APIs will keep getting updated. So it makes sense for you to continuously scan your APIs using the automated scanner and then periodically do pen testing to understand the business logic vulnerabilities also. So,
and like, if I'm not wrong, the dash scanner finds almost 90% plus vulnerabilities that manual pen testing
yes,
is able.
I mean that's something that I wanted to cover as part of this, but you preempted it. Yes, that's true, funny, because that's especially because the uniqueness that we have in the Indusface VAS side, right? We are the only company who provides automated scanner and also pen testing. So as and when our pen testing team finds any new type of vulnerabilities, that information is passed back to the Signature Labs team who analyzes that and updates the plugin to ensure that we are able to increase our automated coverage. And it's because of that we have a 90% coverage for our 90% coverage for all the checks that the pen testing team does through our automated scanner. So yeah, moving on. So before I go and give a demo about Indusface VAS and how you can use Indusface VAS to do automated scanning for your APIs, I just wanted to talk about the fundamentals around this, right? So the first thing that you need to do is document your APIs. You need to have some kind of documentation. Have Postman files which you might be using for your API testing. Have that handy. Then once you have it, use automated scanners to find the vulnerabilities, then complement it using pen testing. Once you identify the vulnerabilities, prioritize the vulnerabilities based on your business need, looking at what is your critical assets, right? What is your critical asset? What is your critical API? And based on that, prioritize your APIs, the vulnerabilities that you need to fix. Incidentally, we have also released a prioritization feature called AcuRisQ in Indusface VAS, which helps you identify which is your most critical vulnerability that you need to patch. So that's kind of helps you avoid the vulnerability fatigue and prioritize the vulnerabilities that matter. I'll quickly touch about this during my demo also. But we have done a separate webinar on this in the past. So if you're further interested on details, you can look into that also. Now let's see the demo of onboarding an API host using our Indusface API, Indusface advanced plan. So first we need to go to the test portal. Generally, what will be the flow is that you can from the website register and start the onboarding. Because it's still not live, we need to log in as a fresh user. So I'm just logging in as a fresh user here. So as a fresh user, you would be asked to accept the terms and conditions, and then the next step would be to provide to select whether you want to onboard a web application or APIs. For the purpose of this demo, we are onboarding an API. Credit card is asked because API scanning is a paid plan. So just giving a dummy credit card for the demo purpose. We'll be adding this to our file. The credit card is we use Stripe for our credit card processing. So we don't store the credit card at our end at any point of time. So once the credit card is uploaded, you can click on proceed. I am, for this demo purpose, just scanning the test site. So once you give the host where you have your APIs which you want to scan, you will be asked to verify that you own this domain. The reason why this is important is that we do not want anybody to be able to scan and find the vulnerabilities, because the vulnerabilities are sensitive information. Various types of validation is available for the purpose of this demo. I'm going to do the email validation. So an email will be sent to me. And if you notice, I have onboarded vastest.indusface.com and my email ID belongs to the same domain. That's why the email verification works. So I have got an email ID. So I need to click on this link. Just give me a minute. Yes. So once you have verified, now the next step starts, where you will be asked to provide the Postman file. The Postman file is needed because as a scanner, we would need to know what are the APIs and what is the sequence at which the APIs needs to be called. These Postman files are generally available as part of your testing cycle. So in case you do not have a Postman file, you can choose for a premium plan where our team will use the documents or any information that you can provide and help create the Postman file for you. So once a Postman file is uploaded, we'll look at the Postman file will be scanned, and all the vulnerabilities that are all the APIs that are part of the Postman file would be listed. You can decide which APIs you would want to scan for. So in this case, I'm just choosing about 5 APIs to scan for and starting the scan. So that's how simple the scanning process is. You'll have to just upload your Postman file and the scanning will start. Once the scanning starts, you will be taken to the onboarding page. In this case, we have additional sites already scanned also. So what I'll do is, as the scan gets completed for the APIs that has been identified, I'll show you how the results will look for the other host that has already been scanned. So for this customer, about three hosts have been already onboarded. We also have API discovery as part of our solution, which will help you identify the API hosts that are externally facing for your companies. The external asset discovery is a unique feature that is released by us, which will help you identify your external facing assets, be it web applications, APIs, and mobile apps. Once the asset discovery is run, the API host that has been identified will be listed here, and you can onboard them as needed. We also show the affected endpoints, which are the topmost affected endpoints of the API host, and then all the vulnerabilities are shown as also is shown separately. To see further details, you can go to the vulnerability section where the vulnerabilities of those of all the applications will be listed. You can see the further details also here by going and clicking on this, where you will see what is the vulnerability, how the vulnerability is identified, what is the solution, and the likes. As I talked in the beginning, we also have the AcuRisQ feature. AcuRisQ helps you prioritize the vulnerabilities that are uh, uh, part of your applications that has been onboarded behind Indusface WAS. We look at various factors, including heat map score, where we look at how often is this API called by other application, how often is a web application called by other applications. So any microservice which is very critical to you, if there's a vulnerability found in that, then that will be highlighted over the other vulnerabilities that are found. So that's how the AcuRisQ feature will help you prioritize the vulnerabilities. Once the vulnerabilities are identified, you can also use Swift Comply, which is essentially a feature that is with our Aptrana product, where the vulnerabilities will be patched within 72 hours. So there will be vulnerabilities that you cannot identify that you cannot patch immediately, but there are compliance reasons or there would be business reasons for which you need to get the application out or the vulnerability to be patched immediately. In such cases, you can avail the Swift Comply feature, which is part of our Aptrana product. Uh, uh, if you want that, you can just click here and our sales team will reach out to you to onboard the site in the Aptrana portal. Also, you can request at any point of time from here pen testing for the sites that has been onboarded. That won't be available as part of our advanced plan, but if you are part of the premium plan, then you can use the pen testing feature to request for pen testing and identify the business logic vulnerabilities that are there in your application. That's pretty much what I wanted to show as part of today's demo. Now moving back, our automated scanner helps you identify all the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities that are there as part of your applications. We have testing for both web applications and APIs, and it is backed by 24/7 support. The pen testing part is, again, as I said, our pen testing team complements our automated scanner. So we look at vulnerabilities that are new and or the vulnerabilities that cannot be identified by the automated scanner, and those are the vulnerabilities that are looked by our manual pen testing team. Our scanner is a plugin based scanner, so what it also helps is that our team is able to create plugins which can automate some of the manual pen testing findings. So in all together, we are able to provide a comprehensive view of all the vulnerabilities that are there in the application and in the APIs, and provide a comprehensive view of all the risk posture of the application. So a quick poll question, would you like to see the demo of the portal? Meanwhile, we'll move on. So finally, as we conclude, what we wanted to say was our Indusface WAS is a comprehensive risk posture management solution. We have asset discovery as part of our solution, which will help you identify the assets that are externally facing. Any assets that are part of your external facing application will be available as part of your asset discovery. Once you identify the assets, you can onboard them to find the automated scanner and then do pen testing. And then we also complement it with infrastructure scanning and the malware and defacement checks. So that's probably our complete platform.
So, Vivek, would we be able to give a free trial? There are some questions on.
Yes, we will be opening it up for 14 days free trial. Yes, when we go live.
Yeah, so we will reach out to you. The next question is, how is it better than the alternative available in the market?
So as I said, because our automated scanner is complemented by our manual pen testing team, what we are able to do is we are able to automate a lot of vulnerabilities which we would not be able to automate otherwise in the normal scenarios, right? So other organizations or other tools that are available will not be able to automate these. So the coverage that we provide through our automated scanner is something that is unique for us.
And Vivek, this is also available on the Aptrana WAP platform, right? Where, not only can they scan, they can also virtually patch
Yes,
through
that's
internet.
something that is, yeah, the API scanner is also part of our web platform where you could identify the vulnerabilities and then patch them through Swift Comply, right? So our Swift Comply feature helps you uh, patch the vulnerabilities within 72 hours. So if there are any critical high vulnerabilities that are there, then those vulnerabilities could be identified and patched within 72 hours.
Yeah, and these features are available in OWASP app and it is free. So how do you differentiate it from Zap?
Uh, I mean, obviously, there are a lot of free tools that are available as part of the industry. The way we differentiate it is obviously through our coverage, the type of vulnerabilities that we are able to identify, and the the quality of our coverage. One thing that we also do is uh, we do a false positive monitoring for critical and high vulnerabilities. We ensure that the critical high vulnerabilities are manually verified by our pen testing, by our security experts before publishing any of these results. This also reduces the vulnerability fatigue that customers might have because of false positives. So that's another differentiator that we provide for customers.
Regards to API security, is it the same as PYNT, PYNT? Uh, PYNT offers dynamic API security testing for developers and testers to identify and fix vulnerabilities during the development cycle. And
I'm not aware of Pint, uh, but if yes, we do help you identify vulnerabilities during your development cycle also. So you could onboard your test APIs and test those, and then fix those before getting it out to the internet.
but I'm guessing if it is a SaaS platform.
I'm not sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I do not know what Pint is, so I will not be.
Um, yeah, any subscription plan details? I think we are still working out on the pricing, right, Vivek?
Yes, so it will be provided as two plans. One is advance monthly and advance annual. We will let you know, and as we publish it, we'll let you know the pricing.
Yeah, I think we should have these details by in a couple of weeks.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Next one, can I integrate manual with auto scan?
So it is already integrated. I mean, so we provide manual pen testing by ourselves. So if your question is, can you combine the manual PT results that you are finding somewhere else with automated scanners? So currently, no. It's something that we are looking to incorporate in the future, but it's not something that is readily available.
Then, is there an agent that you install on the target host machine?
No, no, we don't know. It's completely outside in scanning. So over the internet, we will from externally we will scan these applications and then find the vulnerabilities.
More, okay, does the tool support OT security? I think as long as the OT has works on open APIs, we support, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if your OT is dependent on APIs, then we should be able to scan them. How much variation is there in manual API and API scanner output?
As Funny already discussed, right, it's a 10% coverage difference, right? So our automated scanner has a nearly 90% coverage of all the checks that a pen testing team does, and the pen testing would be additional checks around the business logic and everything, which generally cannot be found using the automated scanner.
Okay, I think that is all the questions. Those are all the questions that we had, and we are already over time. Thanks so much for everyone for joining us today. So we have these webinars every month. So please, uh, subscribe to our newsletter and join us. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day and the week.